This interview is brought to you by the IDC. The IDC is committed to driving sustainable economic growth. Let us partner with you on your business growth journey.
Lolutando Ntwanti Mlambo on Power 98.7.
All right, it's 18:44 on Power Business. Move on now to a conversation with the IDC. That's the Industrial Development Corporation. We do know that we are seeing the Black Industrialists and Exporters Conference that will take place tomorrow at the Sandton Convention Centre. There, and conversations around Black Industrialists are one that we keep having here on the show. I think last week we would have spoken to the DTIC briefly, and this evening we will be speaking to the IDC there. We do know that more than 1,500 delegates, including Black-owned firms, panelists and speakers and exhibitors will be at the Sandton Convention Centre for the conference there. The conversations that come out there are always very important in driving the Black industrialist journey here in South Africa. And this evening, we are having a conversation with the IDC with regards to that very thing. Joining me is Lucretia Khumalo. She is from the IDC there, and she's Divisional Executive of Client Support and Growth. Lucretia, a pleasure. Good evening.
Good evening, Alexander. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for chatting to us this evening. Let's start with Wednesday will be the second edition of the Black Industrialists and Exporters Conference. The president will be there focusing on some of the achievements and even strides that government has been making. But we must then note, Lucretia, how do we define a Black industrialist and what has been the IDC's mandate in as far as focusing on them as a subset of business in general?
Thank you for that question, Nolitanda, and I think it's an important question for your listeners to understand. So a Black industrialist is defined as a Black South African, as outlined in the BBBE Act, and it comprises of persons who create and own value-adding industrial capacity, and they provide long-term strategic and operational leadership to a business. This is more or less somebody that is the strategic driver of a business and operates it, someone who owns at least 50% of the business and exercises control over it, is entrepreneurially driven to take risks in that business, and primarily does business either in manufacturing, mining, services, and has a long-term commitment into that business. So these are just some of the things that I've just outlined to you. And as the IDC, we've been involved with Black industrialists even before the Black Industrialist program of the DTIC, which was started in 2016. So we started in 2014, and we've supported a lot of these types of businesses. And these are quite key and core to our mandate of ensuring that we grow the Black ownership of our economy.
Can you also talk to us about the success stories, where we have seen a Black industrialist? Who are they that they've benefited from the IDC specifically? What sectors of the economy are they in? And they're managing to capitalize on these in these grueling economic times.
So over the past 5 years, as the IDC, we've funded over 328 Black industrialists to the tune of 23 billion rand. And these Black industrialists capitalize on a variety of sectors that we support as the IDC. These include manufacturing sectors. So those would be in the chemical sector, medical, industrial, minerals, products, machinery, equipment, electronics, automotive, agro, mining, and infrastructure. And just to name a few that we have covered in our financials. So we've got a company called Tembu Tissue Converting, led by Tembu Tembu, and that company is in the manufacturing sector, targeting 1 billion rand in annual turnover by 2025, and it seeks to establish branches nationwide. It's a 100% Black-owned company, and it's based in KwaZulu-Natal. Another one is in the renewable sector, Riatile, and it was founded by Mr. Pintiwe Meshomakulu in 2003. And they've made significant investments in the renewable sector, and they now hold equity stakes in about 485 megawatts of renewables energy projects. And the last one that I will state is Boka Boka Holding, one of a few Black-owned engineering factories that manufacture steel components used to build locomotives and buses. It was established in 2013 by two Black industrialists, Palelo Lebaka and Busi Lebaka. The engineering company uses raw material to manufacture and process steel structures used to assemble large automotives. The company currently manufactures components for MAN, which is a well-known global truck company. As you can see, Nolutando, I could go on. The list is long, and we can spend an entire evening relating these success stories to you. Of course, there are some that didn't succeed, but there are many that have succeeded. Thanks, Lucretia.
Thank you for that. I think very encouraging to hear of these stories. Now, we know the IDC is a funding institution and its track record in providing financial support speaks for itself. Is there any way in which businesses who partner with the IDC can benefit from the services, other services that you offer? Or also, what is your value proposition to black business relative to any other financial institution?
So the IDC prides itself in being more than just a bank. We support black industrialists in a variety of ways. So obviously you've stated the funding, which is very important. And we do that in many forms because black businesses tend to require not just loans. Sometimes we need to provide them equity and everything in between, the mezzanine financing tools. We also provide non-financial support, such as business advisory services, as well as business support. We also spend a lot of time with our investee companies creating value creation plans to ensure that the strategies that they have for their businesses are implemented successfully. And in between all of this, we try and use our leverage across the industries to partner them with others that are like-minded or might be wanting to buy their services from them. So it's really a much closer relationship with the IDC. And we really do pride ourselves in, staying the long haul and having a vested interest in ensuring that the businesses that we fund are sustainable and that they are successful.